It's like me showing up on the first night, and I needed the humility. I really did need the humility because she it was the first night, which is nothing but like, I guess if I had to define it like a rainforest situation, I would say the very first night I was on the rainforest floor, just around like hyenas, demons, jackals, just like the worst of the worst, which made sense after the second ceremony because I showed up bringing like my fear, like leading the ceremony or the interaction with fear, and just like basically a lot of judgment because like for obvious reasons the matrix that the powers that be don't want people coming to the medicine, because you might start questioning more narratives or just foundational structures. And so when it came to that specifically, so I have 3 rings on my hands, and like one of them is like tungsten still, and there's 2 silver, and each of them have like different correlations to like traditional faiths and God and whatnot. And I was very much like leaning on like these protections, not the plant protection. And the plants are jealous plants, and they're like, you came to our forest thinking your protections will be good here. And it's just the energy they were giving was like, that's why they were offended, So the last night, because I honestly, like after the first night, I was thinking I was gonna get on that boat, go up that fucking leave,
Really?
Yeah, I was
that worried about it.
Yeah, I was fucking terrified about it. Like, holy shit, fucking beat my ass.
Right.
So last night it was just very much like humbling and like trusting in the plant protection, not my own. Because the previous night, like I would not take off the rings. Like the plants wanted me to take off the rings, which only made my fear worse. And then I kept leading with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when it came to the second night, like last night, I showed up and I really focused in on my breathing techniques, like Kundalini and whatnot, and just channeling it, because that was the only thing that kind of got me through the previous night was breath work.
Yeah.
Finding my core and staying in it, And so I was able to do that more or less successfully throughout the whole night, last night. But at the very beginning of the night, I did, I don't know why I just felt this urge to do like a little dance, like while sitting down, like my hands, just like as kind of like a bird dance, just like as like I'm sorry, just like forgive me, I'm sorry type thing, like
that's okay.
And she was understanding. She's like, yeah, dance for me. So, and I'm like, okay, no, I'll dance for you. I showed my ass. I'm sorry. Like,
that's right. It sounds like Bobby then.
Yeah.
Bobby Sanders. She's great. She loves dancing and singing. She's
and
great.
Like, may I have your forgiveness? May I have your forgiveness? And she's like, okay, yeah, you can have it. But then
can you have her what?
May her forgiveness.
Oh, it's
yeah, because I didn't mean to offend. I just, but I explained myself. I led with fear, and that was wrong. I should have trusted in you, and you were gonna. Oh, sorry about that. And you were gonna do just fine, And she was great, and
oh, sorry, that's probably dead one. I'm gonna throw that now. It's finished. I've got some more to do. In the bin. Organised in the pipe and concentration. No, it's great to hear. I don't get it. It just doesn't happen with some people. Some people are quite happy to have a chat and like to record it just to see. I only know I've seen a lot of people in ceremony, but everybody only knows. It's just not. It's a bit rough. You don't want to breathe it. Mostly just coughing it really. And what about that? Just without breathing it in, you can just sort of...
Oh no, I never mind the recording. Like honestly, like I'm just like totally off the night topic, but no, like all the videos and like just the research I've done behind like Graham Hancock and like other individuals who've come to like ayahuasca, like in Joe Rogan Experience, all that, just very much like just following the breadcrumbs,
Yeah.
Well,
that's the path here for most people.
Yeah. And yeah, like, and I showed up, and a lot of my fear was, so like I have a Christian background and origin of faith, right? And even before I came, like my friends were like, they worship the serpent god, and
all the wrong information.
yeah, and it's one of those things where, and then like they really fixated on the aspect of
black magic.
Yeah, dark magic.
Yeah,
basically.
that's right. It's a big misconception. I mean, it exists, as you know.
It does.
But that's part of it. But it's not what we do. You know.
Yeah. No. If anything, that was
we fight that.
That was clarity here, where that's I didn't, again, because I was curious, like, how did I offend you type thing, you know, about the ayahuasca and just the tree spirits. And like more or less, they're like, you're associating us with that American Louisianan trash, like, and it's like, yeah, I'm like, damn, okay. I mean, and they were right. Like, I very much was like, I had images of the Louisianan bayou dark magic, and like the rainforest was offended. Like, we are not that. We are not that.
Nice.
Yeah, we're not that sickness. And I'm like, bet, okay.
Good.
So. I again apologize for that, and but then as like a gesture of my like true, like, you know, and just because I was talking to others, and they're like, yeah, you're not supposed to let the ayahuasca dominate you. You're supposed to like set boundaries and just like.
No, that's wrong.
No.
The whole point is because again, it's about faith and trust.
Okay.
Trust in the medicine, absolutely. You know, trying to lock yourself down with these protection things, they're blocks, and then mama can't get to you. But there will always be the first couple where, especially here, because realistically, it's your first time, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what your other, you mentioned them, your first couple.
Oh, it was nothing like this.
But there's nothing, and I've done ayahuasca in 3 other different countries in South America, are near the Gulf Forest.
Yeah.
But it's not right here in the center of the rainforest, the Amazon.
The heart of the power.
The heart of it, you know, and that's her garden. And it's totally different, and the shamans are totally different because of it. Much more powerful, the shamans here, whether they should be or Kokama, or other tribes too. But only in retrospect, and that's why I kept coming back, because it's like, get it done properly.
Yeah.
But the thing about faith, and it takes time, because you've got a Western mind, especially you said you're an atheist, as was I. Yeah, I came from a technical background, and so it took me a while, because the thing is, you're always trying to analyze it in a scientific or a logical sense.
Yeah.
And Mama said to me, Steve, first thing she said when I first introduced her, I was still like a little boy in a way, because I had a part of trauma where I was carrying like a second spirit. She had this big, she was really tall body covered in scales of like crystal. Pretty imposing, big hook nose, like a big alien, but full of love. But in these conversations, he was like a little boy with so many questions. Yeah. And then she just poked me in the head with this big claw. She said, Steve, stop using your brain. Feel with your heart. You know? Sorry, I didn't know. Because that was me. But it's, it's expected. It takes time. It took me quite a while, before many ceremonies, because you go back into the real world and you think, I can't, that's fucking, is it just a big hallucination? And you do this whole circular argument. Yeah. And Mama said to me, Steve, how can you have seen the healing that you've done and believe? Sorry? Right. How can you have seen all the healing that you've had for yourself and all the other people, and then doubt it? And Bovensana reiterated that. She said, now at your level, Steve, you're training to be a shaman, or I'm certainly along that shamanic path. There's got to be no doubts. You can't pick and choose what you want to believe. And this is what I say the first time is, you've got to trust the medicines. You're here, it's their world. It's like if you were studying religions, because I had this with another trainee shaman. He was getting worried about Krishna, and he was trying all the things that he'd learned. He was trying to use all of these things, and then getting himself really stressed out and crying, and like from there, because he was really driven and working really hard. And I said, look, to be honest, I think you're training in the Shipibo tradition. Forget Buddha, Jesus at this stage. Forget Buddha, forget Krishna, forget all of these other religions. You're being trained in this specific thing. Just concentrate on that. That's it. Forget all the rest of the stuff, because it's stressing you out. So, it's natural for people to have all these beliefs, because they try and, because they're all, nothing's written in stone. It's only individual interpretation of those different beliefs anyway, and people pick and choose what they kind of fits with them, and but with ayahuasca you just trust the medicine completely, trust the shaman. You've got a great retreat here. You've got the most powerful shamans I've known. Certainly Antono's trained Christine. And they said, Christine's strong. He's really strong. So you're in, and they're lovely people. You know, from my experience of 3.5 years, and I've had the shitty shamans, and I'm doing like the shit that was going on last night. Not as bad as that, but the mind control for money and stuff like that. It's dodgy.
That was another aspect of it, where it's like, apart from like insulting like the rainforest, and like the plants here, right? By associating with the bayous, you know, I also insulted like the Shipipus and like Christian, and then like they didn't say it, but like energetically, like I was a little paranoid, you know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people come to ayahuasca with fear, especially when it first hits them, because you've got no frame of reference for it. Especially the spiritual thing, because you've never, my first ones were hell. I went through horrible times. And then, of course, the ghost of alcohol addiction and smoking pot. It's bad news. It takes a long time to clean. Get over those addictions. And then your fear and anxiety. It probably took me 1.5 years before it stopped my complex post-traumatic stress disorder in real life. I just didn't get, a burst of complex post-traumatic stress anxiety, like in a work interview or something like that. But of course, you've got to have, eventually, you do enough, fear will be removed. Because obviously shamans can't afford to be afraid of anything. They are the masters of that world. Because they're, they do their dietas with a lot of respect and everything for the tree spirits. But they're in control of it. They're the ones who have done all the Icaros, done the plant dietas. Maestro Antono's done over 100 plant dietas. So he's got 100 plants and trees that he can call on. But of course he just rattles them off in those like one-off little incantations. But the same words, as you get familiar with the words, you'll hear them in the Icaros too. Guida-dingi, guida-mangi, guida-dingi, guida-mangi. You'll hear that a lot. Shongitoni, sitoni. These are all just words for power. Come with power, come with force. Spirit to protect us, protecting the local space. That's the primary thing.
Okay.
Protecting the local space with as much protection, because Maestros explained the dark brew has the people who aren't, they still call them shamans, but they're not in our sense. They're dark wizards, I think I mentioned this the other day. And they're always looking, because they read books on, they take the easy route, because they're bad people and they get corrupted by it. They read books on black magic, and then of course they're always trying to interfere with ceremonies. This is where you really appreciate the work of the shaman, because people just don't get it, and you don't get that research on the internet. It's only on my channel where I put it up, but I make them unlisted. I don't make them public somewhere. But it feels alright. I'd know if Mama didn't want me to do it, put it out there. Because I believe it will be in certain people's feeds, or if they're subscribed to my channel. They are coming to ayahuasca, and they're the type of people who can handle it. They'll see it. And I think it's about time people knew the dark side, because it's yin and yang. It's always been there. And of course, the role of the shaman is to block the darkness of the malicious side of the plants, which is where you get that, you come here with disrespect, that kind of nastier side of them. But that's for lessons for you to start your healing process and get your mind straight on what spirituality really is. And there's different types of it. There's the plant spirit side of it for healing, for protection, and on the white side for love. And that's what Mama Ayahuasca is. The pure love. Bogan San, a really good example. She's very similar to Mama Ayahuasca. She's very flexible and she's very, very loving. But as Maestro said, some of the trees, they're like people. And that got me wondering a night or two ago, like thinking, well, Patau, it really was different, because he's, Maestro says that for him, he's this big tall guy. I told you, big powerful. He's not working hard enough, and he doesn't know what he's doing. So, but Maestro he'll still do his job, because Maestro's called him, and I've done a diet with him, and to clean my skin. And Maestro told Maestro sing the Nicolo to clean his blood. And that's when Maestro was sucking out all of the shit. But probably my test was to force myself to meditate a lot on the plant, but I just didn't feel a connection. I didn't do a lot of it. I didn't really do it very well, because I just didn't feel it. But anyway, the spirituality side of it it's very different, and of course it is more traditional than what you get in the books. There's the two sides. It's like more like almost a Harry Potter kind of, or more say more like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
I can see that.
The Ents, you know, you start thinking. Mama said to me, J.R.R. Tolkien wasn't, he was doing other stuff, he was, and it's like Carl Jung, psychedelics and stuff connected to spirits. They were doing this kind of thing, which is how they got their insights into psychology and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff in Lord of the Rings that's relevant. The demons are manifestations of those orbs. They can be anything. They can be horrible. Little insecty, slimy, horrible looking things. I pull them out my own body and in visions. And the more you do, the more, the more work you do, you get given gifts. Like she'll give you a gift, say, like my sword of truth. Or spiritual fire. Things like that. Or on a dark side, to learn dark side, the feeling of dark side magic. Like the Shipibo, there's a Shipibo shaman in one way. Had snakes, tarantulas and scorpions dripping venom on both my arms, and they're now mine. So in ceremony, if I want to attack a demon or a witch, I can just say to the snakes, eat her. Poison her and stuff like that. But that's dark side magic being used against dark side magic. It's powerful, but it's seductive. You have to be, because it's feeling of power with it. And that's so you got to pull away from it. Just know where your boundaries are. No, I'm solid white knight.
See, that's where I think I was being tested on the first night, because again, like typical, like I guess that subconscious minutiae of just like fear and the worst of the worst, right? And it was very much apart from like Louisiana bayous, dark shamanism, fucking Masonic of sacrifices, and like the Western side of like the those who love power and corruption.
They're riddled with it. Riddled with it.
And I guess like the part, again, that first night was like a lot to unpack. It was still unpacking in many ways, because our fears teach us so much more than the light, or I should say, not more.
We're tilted toward it for survival.
And so another aspect of it was showing me, like, it kept, like, I don't want to, a entity, or maybe Aya used another plant to, like, approach me, contracted with, however, like, no, I want you to offer him power, knowledge for power, right? And the thing is that, like, every time they came at me, like, what knowledge don't you? I'm like, yes, I do. Like, I want knowledge, and like, do you want power? I'm like, I mean, knowledge is technically powerful, so I mean, yes. And then they start making offers, like, you'll sacrifice children for power, right? I'm like, and it was very insidious. It was trying to convince me how just sacrificing, like, not now, you don't gotta pay up now, but later on, you could if you wanted to, if you want the knowledge now.
Temptation to the dark side. Luke Skywalker.
Basically, fucking.
Well, that's another one. The films have got a lot of films we see got a lot of parallels. The Matrix, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
The Star Wars definitely
the dark side of the Jedi.
Yeah, because she because like, or it, whatever it was that was doing it, every time it's like, it was probably like 6 different times offered in different ways, but I'm like, no, what are the terms and conditions of this contract, and then every time it was like sacrifice of the innocent, and each and every time I'm like, then no thank you, no thank you, like I'll turn away, and like that price is too much, I will never pay it, like that cannot be paid, and like in each time, and like so in a way it was very grounding in who I am. Like, I know I'm not going to sacrifice an innocent to acquire knowledge and power, and if that's how you acquire it, I don't want it.
Exactly.
And again and again, just fucking going hard. Where at the end of the night, like, that's why I almost fucking ran from the jungle, because I was like, did a dark entity try to convince me to like kill and murder innocents? And if that's the case, like, I shouldn't be here, Yeah, but thankfully, I read once somewhere, like, nothing good has ever come from a choice made in fear. And so like sticking to that,
Absolutely.
I'm like, that choice would have been made in fear.
Yeah.
And because of that, I chose to stay. And so the following night, I circle back. I did my little dance, like, just apologizing. She gave forgiveness, and then as like a final gesture of like just total like submission, just like, hey, like, I'm sorry. I took off all my rings one by one, set them down before her. I'm like, and then I also set the boundary, like, these are my comfort rings, to my connection to Father Sky, and I'm setting that boundary. They are going to come back on, but out of honor to you and respect for being in your kingdom, your place, and the disrespect I gave you yesterday, I'll take them off, and I set them before me. And I won't put them back on until you give me permission to do so. And yeah, and when I did that, she was just eyeing me, and just okay.
What form did she take this vision?
So she was.
So do you think it was Bobinsana?
I don't think it was Bobinsana.
No.
I don't think it was Bobinsana. I think, or maybe it was more alien-esque, honestly. But at first, it was just like darkness, right? Like she was not revealing herself to me. Like whatever, and I believe it was Mother Island. No, it was. I'm gonna go with the feeling there.
Hey, there's the start. There's an second ceremony. You're talking to Mama Ayahuasca.
Yeah. And
did you feel love from her after or initially? Because
she was afterwards and throughout, like after like the first purge, the first and only purge, much later in the night, immense love, respect, me and her just chilling, having a great time. She's letting me do my thing, let me watch her work with other people's energies. It was just beautiful. But when I initially set down all the rings, and again, like I didn't raise my head, I kept it bowed. I'm like, with your permission, may I like put my rings back on? And she's like, yes, you may. And then and I shit you not, like this ring for this finger landed exactly in the middle of the hole. And it's like you may, and then just put them back on. And then after I put them back on, and like we resolved that issue, right? I just breathed, relaxed, got into my core, and then like shimmering light green lights came through, and it was almost like insectoidal, but like 1,000 eyes, and then let's say like there's like liquid limbs coming out.
Octopus
yeah.
Things that sort of weavy in you, and Dr. Cito's both cleaning spirits, I think they are.
Okay, so what is it?
I think they're cleaning spirits to find out where the darkness in your body lies.
Okay,
and then they'll highlight that, and that can be uncomfortable because it sets off. With me, it set off anxiety and fear. Fucking terrible! When the ayahuasca first comes out, those fractals that you see, you can sort of sometimes see shapes in them, and I've seen like big fucking octopusy type things, and they've got these tendrils, and they come and kind of inside you, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And you're fear, and then your adrenaline's gone through, their heart's like 200 BPM, you're like, what the fuck?
And like
probing your fear and the dark energy fear.
So that right there, that's exactly what I'm so happy I'm talking to an experienced individual, because like at first I'm like, I didn't want to offend, because I'm like, am I projecting you as this creature that is like freaking me the fuck out, but are you presenting as such, right?
They are scary. They're fucking scary. Start. They really are. You can make friends with them. They'll when you're clean enough and you've got enough experience and you don't have fear, you can. Oh, thank you cleaning spirits. Look, I think I've got a problem. Like last night, I think I got a problem. I'm feeling a lot of anxiety and fear. And of course, I know it's not mine. It's the normal ceremonies without what was going on in there. Because I seem to have had this curse of being able to feel other people's fear. I know it's not mine after a lot of experience, because I had to go through all mine to know. I've had plenty of mine, but that's been cleaned. And then when you get a group where there's a lot of weird energies, and of course when they're vomiting, especially first timers, and they don't know what's happening because you've been through it, you remember what it was like. And of course I have to give myself a bit of a laugh and a grin, but then sometimes I get, oh shit, and sometimes painful. Pains in my stomach, and I know it's not mine, so at a particular time I know I'm really clean. And that's why it was quite unpleasant last night, because right from the start of the ceremony, as soon as I drank the ayahuasca, before it's even started affecting me, it was really slow coming. I just had like a general feeling of discomfort, as far as just just uncomfortable.
Mm.
And the more I thought about it, and the ayahuasca took a long time to come through, and it wasn't very strong at all. But eventually, I had a second cut. I said to myself, I said, "You in visions?" Like 2 hours later, no, nothing, barely even practice. But going back before I get off of the thing, you can actually, if you give yourself to medicine, and just, I have complete faith in my mind. Because she's going to do whatever she wants with you anyway, and you can't get it. As soon as you've drunk it, that's it. You're in that fucking trip for the next 6-8 hours. You're in it. So you've got to come to terms with it. Just, you know, we've had people freaking out and what? Please take it out of me. Take it out of me. Yeah. They can sing an Icaro to really squash it and make it less intense. They can do that, but the whole game is to overcome your fear, and it's not easy.
It's not.
At all. But when you do, and then you understand that when you've had them enough times at the beginning, you know that they're part of that process, that initial cleaning, because they're fighting the dark energy. And that's why you feel. One shaman said to me that it's a war going on between the plant spirit energy and the dark energy inside, which is why your stomach is. That was Hiram, my brother, who told me that a year and a half ago. Sometimes I suffered terribly with stomach pain and just bad guts.
Oh no, like so.
But you can actually talk to them. I was too afraid. I just didn't know what the fuck. So, one lesson from Mum, I suppose, an aspect of respect. She was with me all the time because of my naivety and kind of trusting and very naive. I always had to have her claw on my shoulder, like holding onto her big finger like this. And one time, this blue demon octopus goddess with these fucking staring eyes, just cold. The impression's kind of like, I've been summoned. I don't care what you have to summon to suffer. I've been summoned to clean you, and that's what I'm going to fucking do. It's like, I don't get, and it's like, but Mama said to me, like, don't communicate with this entity. It's very powerful. Just respect, just observe, Steve. Fortunately, I was talking to Mama about my third ceremony, so she was always with me after that when it's strong enough. Always.
So, when you speak, do you speak out loud or just
No.
thoughts?
It's just it's a conversation. Like, you ask a question. She won't always answer everything. That can be weird. Sometimes you don't know what the fuck's going on. You ask a question, she doesn't know the answer, or she won't tell you, or she's being evasive, and there's all this confusion stuff. And then you find out about trickster spirits that can emulate her, and they can be having a conversation. I've fallen for that like for an hour. I've quite a few times been thinking I've been talking to Mama ayahuasca, and it wasn't. And of course, it's a test. And Bo and Sana have done the same thing. If you don't feel the love, it's not them. And I had a bit of a nasty one last night because I hadn't seen Bo and Sana since the end of the dieta, and I thought last night it's hardly surprising with what's running around after what came out of there last night. Because when they're expelled from Maloka, they're running around the land. That's why the dogs were barking and other people screaming too. Like the locals, probably what the fuck's going on. And then Maestro was blowing his pipe, and he's because he coughs up this thing. It sounds like he's purging, but he's not. He's actually got. Like in his chest, he's got sort of a sack of little darts, spiritual darts, and he goes, like coughs them up, and then he's going. And I always used to think he's sucking energy out of people. No, that's when the Brujas are coming to attack the ceremony, and he's firing darts into their chest. And there's loads of them running around. Those outside of, because our house is protected, so he's firing them out and knocking off these Brujas. As well, because they're starting to run amok with whatever was brought in. And this is what was interesting, because when he called Papa Louie, obviously Caden, I suppose he thinks I can have a big mouth sometimes, and you've got to be careful. Because you forget your relative level of experience, and it can be really frightening for people. But I was dropped in the deep end, and I think that's a different level. That was serious.
I mean, again, like I was there for the journey, right?
It's a privilege, actually. This is where you got to see it. It's a privilege to witness that.
Because like that honor that gave me more comfort in the event anything happens to me, that they're gonna take care of me. But then it's also so like they're like so whenever like what was I guess like when Mama brought in that cleaning spirit. I'm like because at first I was like the heart racing, terrified a little bit.
Powerful, isn't it?
If I wasn't doing the fucking breath work and like
keeping your center. Yeah, that's the way. But what you'll realize in the end is actually that won't be necessary. when you do enough, because you just accept, you get good at, because you find little techniques for yourself, and you know it's the medicine. And when you've done enough, sometimes it can still be strong, but you just this is a bit overwhelming. And the main trick I tell first timers is that it gets really overwhelming because Mama's pushing your boundaries, but the boundaries past where you even know that you can handle.
Yeah.
And that's what gives you the confidence for the next one. So she'll push you. But if it is overwhelming, like you think, fuck, I'm losing my mind, that happens quite a bit with people, and it gives me, it's like, fuck it, the colours, in fact, when they're really powerful and just overwhelming colours and fractals and all sorts of shit going on, you're just like, the spiritual energies in your head, it's like, the confusion can be like, fuck, and like, almost can't catch your breath, and then, you just go, Mama, because even if she's introduced herself, and say to people, look, first two, she might not even introduce herself to you because you're too dirty, and the cleaning's got to be done first. Yeah. Seems to be a minimal state of cleaning before the nice plant spirits, the nice side of plant spirits will even, they're working on you, but they won't let you know about them. They won't talk to you. They won't communicate with you in any way, whether it's feelings, visions, or, well, you'll always get visions, but it's the right brew and it's good brew. And it's strong enough, you'll always get visions, or should do, generally. But some people don't because they've got blockages. But over time, when you get more and more clean, it becomes clearer. And but you've been through it so many times that you just accept it. And then you realise, once you've been through that cleaning process, you realise they're just powerful cleaning spirits. And you can actually talk to them and go, at my stage now, I can just go, like last night, I was talking, I had very faint fractals. It wasn't strong, like something was blocking the ayahuasca. Is it these witches running around the joint after that screaming around? What the hell's been going on here? Just their presence was sufficiently strong with that. Yeah. I was wondering about that. And so, I'm talking to them, just saying, something, my stomach it's not like a feeling sick, because there's no vomit feelings involved, but just a general unease in me. Yeah. And of course, they know it's not me. And so I was saying to the cleaning spirits, I said, there's something, there's anxiety. But it's not mine. Can you have a dig around in there and see what's going on? And then, 5 minutes, it kind of cleared. But it kept coming back, because obviously what was going on in your ceremony, I think, was really privy, especially with Papa Julio there. And when he explained, because I asked Maestro at lunch in his house today, I said, what's the name of that drink that you said? And it seemed like he almost couldn't remember himself. And he didn't say anything in front of his wife, but I'll talk to him tomorrow, maybe he's forgotten, but his father, he told me immediately after he'd spoken to Papa Julio, because Papa Julio's voice was, they were talking sort of quite normally loud, like, Papa Julio always laughs, because, like, what's going on with me, and he's like, and Maestro said he used to say, no, it's just part of the process, it's like learning the shine. Okay. Because sometimes it's just so loud, compared to their level of what they know, but it's nice, it's funny. But they had a conversation with Maestro told, but they were talking really quietly. So Maestro's doing two voices, but in Spanish, and Peruvian Spanish, you can't hear it. But then he told me after, so Papa Julio's just said that a woman in there, she got given medicine, or what she perceived was medicine from a Shipibo shaman, or probably just a witch. It was given as, you got this problem, drink this, and it was fucking laden with a big hex and a witch in the drink, and that's what she drank to fuck up the gringo, because they can be horrible, some of these people.
So it wasn't.
And he named the drink, it was a specific name, but you can't remember it today. Someone get the name. They knew it, and Papa Julio said, Shipibo Brewer gave such and such a name of the drink.
So from a previous experience of ayahuasca?
No, just in a previous experience doing something. Maybe just been to a retreat and thinking, or maybe just some Shipibo person. We don't know. Yeah. But
someone else gave her
a drink, probably under the guise of it being medicine to help some ailment, but it wasn't. It was a fucking dark witch, fucking spunk her.
Oh. I can see it because she's worked with ayahuasca substantially more than me. But she was the only one that had that response.
Screaming is really powerful.
Yeah, because it threw everyone else off.
I heard in the second person scream. I couldn't quite make out because they said something. I didn't quite hear it. Whether she said, "Need eyes or my eyes," I wasn't sure it's not clear, something, at my level.
No,
But I don't know what she shouted out.
no, I mean, the thing is, like, it wasn't,
Try that, just chuck it over.
oh no, I'm good. But, no, it was the same girl. Like when you heard multiple voices and whatnot, same body. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's the giveaway.
Yeah, and just like different. It was just fucking. Ooh.
Demons and witches on board.
But yeah, so
nasty business.
so when you talk about cleaning, right? Like what led to the cleaning thing showed up, right? Which I would call by name, don't know it. But no, like, cause I was like, okay, I'm not gonna freak out. Like, you're gonna appear as you're gonna appear, and we're gonna take this one step at a time. I made my apologies. And we know like, we're conducting ourselves with honor and respect and just like good stuff, right? And so it does something, and then at some point, like, eventually it's done doing its thing. And then thankfully, like the advice you gave like a few years ago came in handy. With the whole, like, if it doesn't feel like love, then it's not. At that point, I also asked further questions from some others here, and how you can ask for its name, or who are you, because there was multiple, like, entities that showed up while I was doing the breathing and all that jazz to try and do my best to stay centered. And we're like, it would start to, like, I guess, like, try to, like, play, I guess, or, like, tease, get me to engage. And I'm like, you don't feel like you're my friend. At which point, I just leaned forward. I'm like, what is your name? And as soon as I started asking for names, like a lot of them just like, we don't want you knowing our names. And which was interesting. Yeah. Like, you show up and you don't want to tell me your name? Fuck you. But no, so like that goes through that phase, but the part like where like the real cleaning came in was since I arrived in the jungle, I've been having this hack in my lungs, like I just like coughing, sinus shit. I wasn't sick, I just didn't know what it was. But then when I vomited, intellectually, I'm aware I've been eating rice and vegetables and chewing them, so like that's what's been in my stomach, XYZ, right? But when I say I vomited up worms and parasites, or like energetically, that's what it felt like. So like the medicine, it felt like it pulled infection and bugs and disease from my lungs, and it pulled it from my large and lower intestine, and also pulled it from my head, like all of it, just condensed it into my stomach, and like, and just like feeling it, just like, and I felt good that it was coming at me. Like,
did you actually feel it like? So I've had it where you know that it's only liquid coming out, but it actually feels like there can be solids in it.
Yes.
Or like berries, or something solid, like as if it's someone's giving you some spiritual fucking poison fruit, or it's solid, and then you cough it up, and sometimes you might, very rarely, but you get a vision while you're kind of looking in your bucket, and you might see. In the bucket, you might see something solid.
Oh no,
but it's all liquid. When you feel it coming out, it's like, fuck, that's solid. But then you know it's only liquid coming out.
Exactly. That's what made it weird. I'm like, cause like intellectually, I know I was only eating rice, but I had eaten 8+ hours ago. Like that sensation shouldn't have been in my mouth, you know. But then when I looked in there later on, and it was just clear liquid. Exactly. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, it was a little dark because the brew, but I mean, it wasn't. So what did I feel?
Exactly. That's the spiritual component.
But I mean, since then, I mean, I felt so light, so like carefree, just like all that like trash left, and like I've never had a purge like that before, and I mean, I've always been like a mostly healthy guy. Like, I eat a pretty clean diet. I don't eat parasite-based things. I do normal parasites.
Pharmaceutical drugs.
That's what I was thinking, because like there was a line of thought in the medicine where it's like, no, like the parasites of the rest are of a different electromagnetic frequency, and they resonate at different vibes. And so coming to the rainforest where the energy is shifting, they're losing their power, like that's where the irritation in the lungs came in. Where it's like they're already like getting loosened up like that. And then it just kind of like set the tone for Mama Ayahuasca to come in and just like, boom, get it out. but then after it was like fully purged, that's when she could really like do her work, where I could just like sit up relatively easy, just looking around the room. I felt like I was in like mid canopy in a rainforest, just again watching her work with Kelly and the others, and just being present with her in that moment, and just an occasion.
Nice vision.
Yeah,
Yeah. Working. I've not had that.
And occasionally like going into myself, and I think the part where it really peaked was Kelly, one of the people in our group. She was like purging, and like I felt like her like energy, soul, body, like calling out for like masculine support, and I'm one of the only like men participating, other than Fishy People and whatnot. Ekokama. Yeah. Other than that,
I don't like Spico anymore. It's got a bad reputation.
Don't worry. Okay, Ekokama.
They'll be fine.
No, it's fine.
No,
I don't want to offend. I don't want to offend.
Maybe they're a Kokama tribe.
Okay, Kokama.
Or origins.
Then yeah, so that right there, like I felt her needing my, I'm like, okay, I bet, like, cause like my masculine always shows up in the healthiest and the best when like a woman is enfolding into her feminine, needing help.
Yeah, that's our role.
Yeah, and so like she reached out energetically, and like this just like light of like silver and just the light kind of came from me, crossed the like flowed across the room, or a wall, river from the room, and then like flowed into her, and as it was transitioning into her, it was turning into this iridescent green, and like part of me felt bad because like I'm like, okay, I'm doing it to help you, but then the moment she got more energy, more purging, and I'm like, and it was beautiful to behold. I'm like, holy shit, you are
riddled.
Whew. Yeah, and then it was just so intense, and then shortly after Kelly finished, that's when the screaming started from Shanana. Yeah, and that's when she was just going through it, and just like, and of course, like, mind you, like, this is how like stable Aya was making me in the ceremony. I was like, like less than like 5 feet from her, just okay. Well, no, like this is happening. All right. And just so overall, it was just radically different from the first night. I was like, but in a good way, a very good way. I'm happy that I did not leave, and I went through the even if it was just getting rid of that energetic parasites and just that trash that was coming out of me, man. Because like I'm not gonna lie, like I was like leaving, like I mean, I was in like the darkest of thoughts of like, we need to level the rainforest to end this kind of magic. We need to do it. Yeah, and I'm like,
the savior of mankind. Actually.
Yeah, I'm like,
last hope.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think that's a healthy insight to take back, you know?
Yeah.
Because like again, talk about purging. Like, it's funny that like the second night I purged the poison from the west, and the west is what is destroying the jungle. And it's like, of course you wanted me to destroy it. You don't want me getting better. You want the parasites to stay and feed.
And that's the dark side forces that have become in you, and there may have also been a component of that dark entity that was in that that's actually trying to affect other people.
Okay.
So it was powerful. Very powerful.
So that got blown away, or what?
I asked Maestro this the other night. I said, Maestro, what actually happens when you're like with spirits and demons? I said, when you do these ecos, they're really powerful. Because all of my visions, I'm always like a Templar Knight, and I've got my magic sword, and I'm slaying demons all over the place. Had many lessons on killing different forms of demons, you know, just unbeatable. Once you got to a particular level in the visions, just slaying them. Got various tools now. I got given a spear in a dream. Yeah, right. Maestro said, "Oh no, that's really good." I told him at breakfast. I said, "Maestro, I had a really interesting dream." Without the details, but I said I was in this camp, but I had this really light spear with a metal point. About 20 meters away, there was a tree with a board on it, and a black target about this big painted on the board. Right? There was these black guys wearing army gear. It was in Africa or something weird. I had the spear, and I threw it. And I said, I threw the spear, and it went absolutely bang in the center of this fucking black dot. Yeah. Oh, he said, no, that's another gift. He said, they've given you another spear, another weapon. He said, because that's what you need. Because when you're in ceremony and you're like doing this dance, he said, you'll be throwing spears at the witches.
What? That's
so
fucking wild.
And you get different gifts. I got spoken to by the spirit of the Andes Mountains. And that only took a couple months. All of this stuff has just accelerated the process since you were the right shaman and all my energies got correct. Fascinating. And the spirit of the mountain started talking to me. And I was kind of, okay, sir, do you mind telling me who you are? He said, I'm the spirit of the Andes Mountains. Maybe it's because I've done San Pedro in Ecuador. That's mountain shamanism. And San Pedro is the male equivalent of ayahuasca.
Okay.
It's not spiritual in the same way in a ceremony sort of process, but it's a very powerful cleaner.
The male equivalent of ayahuasca.
Mama ayahuasca, yeah, the San Pedro cactus would be the same with peyote too. In the North American tradition, because they both got mescaline in them. And when you get San Pedro shamans, you get ayahuasca shamans. And ayahuasca, San Pedro is a very powerful cleaner too. There's things that ayahuasca can't clean that San Pedro can, and probably vice versa.
Okay.
So that was interesting. And then the next thing, the spirit of the mountains telling me, and in this vision, he just showed there's like the side of the mountain, all these rocks just fell down the side of the mountain, like that. And I kind of was zoomed, kind of travelled into the bottom of the rocks, and then he said, I'm the spirit of the mountains. And he said, look at the bottom of the rocks. The next thing I'm in front of these rocks, and there's a bar of gold, like an ingot, like this. And he said, open it. And I put my thumbs, and I just peeled this bar of gold open, and there was a pearl inside it. I'm holding this pearl, and I said, oh, it's a gift. And he said, swallow it for protection. So in this vision, I swallowed it. Thank you very much. And then the next thing, I still had it in this hand as well. And he said, put this somewhere safe, like a pocket or something. And I was thinking, my pocket's not very safe. And then I've got a moonstone collar. And in the vision, I just said, oh, what about inside my moonstone? He said, perfect. Then you always know where it is.
Yeah.
What is it? And he said, this contains the spiritual energy for the start of all life on the planet. Wow.
Okay.
When I told Maestro this the next day at the retreat, everyone has their chat with him.
Yeah.
And he said, well, that's great. It's another gift. See, you start, as you're now at your level, he said, you'll start to get more and more gifts at various stages of your journey.
Yeah.
Some are weapons. And then in my other ceremony here last week, I had a wonderful vision. And I was in the Shaolin Temple in China. With all my brothers. And you remember, you know the Kung Fu series with David Carradine?
Yeah.
Right? It was Master Po was there. But all the brothers were all doing their martial arts stuff. And I was just sort of watching them. And they all just said, welcome again, brother. You haven't been here for hundreds of years. It's like, we've got some gifts for you.
Okay.
So after the dream with the spear, they gave me the throwing star and those balls with the spikes on them that they use to throw at people. So I got but then with my spear that I already had, one of the monks had it, and he was like doing all the, but super rapid, like more than a human could do. His orange robes on, just doing this fucking spear forms and then showing me like how you'd cut the throats of brujas and stuff with it. And then these stars, when I threw them, they could just keep cutting throats and chopping heads off, but spiraling around, and then they'd come back to me like a boomerang. It's like, what the fuck, this is wild. So, so you're getting all this, and I told Maestro, they'll give you like, all of these different weapons, because he's got this little pouch with his blow darts in them. It was culturally relevant, probably, because, I've come from the West, and I knew, he did a bit of martial arts at the time, but a long time ago, but, I'm always interested in Kung Fu, and I loved that series when I was a kid. And then they were like, go with blessings, brother. It's just wonderful. It's just a wonderful vision. So, and the ceremonies, once you've been really clean, you can have some beautiful ceremonies. You really can. But it can be a lot of work to get there. It can take years. It depends on what Mama's got planned for your path. And I never planned on being a shaman. Yeah. Still, it's sometimes, I have my doubts. And when Bobby was here sitting on my lap, in my mind, just on the dieta, just straight, she said, look, no, this is your meditation. Yeah. I said, well, I'm not doing the meditation. She said, I'm here on it. It's my dieta, Steve. And of course, because I had a ceremony where I got married to this nymph. Yeah. And at one point, because she's this beautiful nymph, really long dark hair, stunning, little pointy elf ears. She's stunning. Wearing this kind of almost leather, she's bluish, semi-translucent, with sort of big black eyes, but beautiful. And so that whole week I just spent my time on the Dieta, just talking to her in my head. And I wasn't on ayahuasca, I was just talking to her, and she'd sit with me for hours, come to bed with me, I'd just be lying on her. When you rock, you think, oh, it's just my imagination, but no, it's really strong, because since the Dieta's finished, it's not the same, I just don't have that connection the same. So, but she'll reiterate things that Mama said, Steve, like when you allowed yourself to get tricked by the prostitute in town, that's why we have to be really hard on you, because at your level, you're at the maximum vulnerability right now, because you're not a shaman, you haven't got all the orations to be able to call for protection yourself, you haven't done enough protection dietas, and you don't know how to dispel these really hard, apart from the occasional that's all that happened when energies aligned. And I did it in front of Maestro in a ceremony, and he said, no, I felt it. He said it was strong, it was fine. But that's like the limit, that was all I could do. And apart from this being able to feel people's bad energies, but unfortunately for me, it means I have to go through my ceremony suffering it until I either vomit. And now it's difficult to vomit too, because there's nothing in my stomach. There's just no feeling of wanting to vomit. But I know I've got dark energy in me, which is part of that. And Mama Ayahuasca said to me one time, she said, Steve, the reason, you've been doing that shamanistic thing right from the start, which is why you've always had so many stomach problems, perceived it as that. Because you have actually, without knowing it, you've been taking people's energy out into yourself, but you don't
know how to get rid of it.
How to get rid of it by just dispel it immediately. And only in strong cases, even with proper maestros, they still do vomit if it's really strong. They've taken enough energy out of a big group, and there's a lot of people with a lot of bad energy. Because this is what people don't realise, and the maestro telling me, it's great to sit, the first week I was here, he'd come up each day and maybe sit for an hour or two. Trying to understand. Some of the Spanish is difficult, but telling me his side of the stories, this was how maestro, you should write a book. You have all your experience, all this history, and I was kind of thinking about it. I said, I'm sure it'd make millions. Imagine the book from, not one made by a Westerner who's interviewed shamans, who's just got some of their statements or stories. No. His whole story with Papa Julio, he was super powerful shaman, super respected in this area, his father. Of course, now he's died, he's up there. For both him or his brother to call, or anybody who knows him, he sings and he goes, Papa Julio, and the next thing he'll come speak through him. Maestro being two voices, this possession thing. And he does it with all of his friends, he does it with his brother who'll come through. His brother turned up the other night, and I'd worked with him. Said, oh, give a hug to Steve. It was like really nice. I did a few dietas with his brother, but it was never the right relationship. He's younger. But Maestro being 50 and me being old, I suppose. But we've had some great stories. Some of his stories about just weird stuff. I said, Maestro, what's the craziest thing that you've he said, oh, Steve, so many. He said, some crazy women sometimes come to ayahuasca, they're maybe either 20 and they're trying to seduce him, and like you said, we had one woman, 50-something, and then after the ceremony, she was so kind of bombed out and borracho, drunk, or married, maldición, dizzy, and then after the ceremony, she had a good clean, and then when he came, I want to give you a hug, Maestro, next thing she's trying to kiss him, and then says, I want you to sleep with me tonight. It's like,
it's not happening.
It's like, and then another one in a taxi from Nauta one time, he's been working with a group probably here. He's going back to Iquitos in a taxi, and these two women that had been in the retreat. And he said the woman kept putting her hand on his leg. And, Maestro, can I remember? I'd love to meet you, see you again. Are you free tonight? All of this shit.
That's how you get into those fucking weird situations where people or women visit and they're like, oh, the shaman raped me. And
exactly.
It's one of those things where it's like, even in a non-psychedelic experience, like going out with a woman in fucking Dallas, Texas can get you that charge. And it's like, because I don't know, and that's like a pet peeve where it's just, I guess, escapism, like accountability for one's choices, where it's like, at the time, you wanted it, and then you changed your mind.
Another thing you need to know on Dieta, it may happen to you, because they're done properly here. Were you with them when did they take you out to do your individual dietas and show you the trees and where they took the
Yes.
bark, so you know how it's done with the shed? You take the bark, fresh water overnight, you drink it 3 days. What also may happen, have you had any really vivid dreams yet on the dieta?
I had earlier. I was napping, and like there was no like physical form of how do you say it? Bobinsana.
She's cute.
No physical form, but her presence was definitely in the dream.
Right. Well,
And she's been circling me all day.
Good. Well,
And
that's going to be your best dieta, as far as I know. It's always for most people, it's the first one because it's an easy dieta. She's not jealous at all. She's fine. The food's pretty relaxed. You can still go into Hanara Herrera. She's not jealous, as I found out with Katali. I couldn't go into town, or I shouldn't have even mixed with your group at all. And also, just from an energy point of view, knowing what was in there last night. But what I was going to say to you, this is the plants in Spanish. A test is called a prueba, like a proof. Prueba. It's a test, and they'll come to you in dreams. And they can be super vivid, and they're often sexual in nature. Now, this is also a test of what's the word I'm looking for? Not humility. It's a test of moral conduct,
character. Yeah.
They might approach you. It might even be Bodhisattva, which you think would be okay, but they'll be sexual. They can be sexual dreams, and the answer is always no.
Mm-hmm.
Try and tell yourself, even though it's difficult, because I failed the other night. I was with an old girlfriend. She was in 2 of my dreams. One, a really witchy, weird one in Iquitos. It was like a lesbian partner swapping party. And my old girlfriend, that I was at the height of my sort of binge drinking days, she saw me through a lot of that. And she was also a nymphomaniac and bisexual. And she's in dreams. But this other one the other night was a younger girl, probably 16, and naked, sitting face forward on my lap, and I did actually have sex with her. Of course, I woke up in the morning, because it was one of those dreams where I didn't feel like I had any control, it just happened. But in the first one, where it was like pretty horrible, I remember at one point the lights came on, and it was like an aftermath of a party with people lying on mattresses. Yeah. But I felt like I'd been poisoned, and I couldn't speak in the dream. My voice was so like this. I couldn't get my words out. I was like trying to say, in the dream I was saying I'm Sean, but I've been poisoned. I think we've all been poisoned. And so that's like an effect of a witch, sort of a cheeser of a witch. Yeah. But just from a general perspective, the character, if you get those dreams, and you can think on, and you actually have a dream where you've got presence of mind, any sexual advances, the answer is no. Because it's a test. Because that's also the way. And I said, Maestro, what's the consequences though if you fail? He said the dieta can fail. Worst case. So just bear that in mind, and but don't worry, it's part of it. Yeah. But if they can be super vivid on, and I mean super vivid, like the detail. Incredible that you just don't get even in normal vivid dreams. They can be really powerful, and you don't know when they're going to come. Yeah, they may not come at all, but they can. But when they're these sexual advances by women, and me the other night, I was on my side listening to Maestro Zikaros, and thought I was just falling asleep because in the dream I was still in exactly the same state, thinking I was falling asleep, but I obviously wasn't, because I was asleep. Yeah. And then in the dream, and it's the second time it's happened to me. First time was a witch for sure, because I was still infected, I hadn't been clean. Oh no, the witch energy had been clean, but I think the only connection she could have was through dreams then, to see if I'd have sex in the dream and then get control back, an infection, because witches, unlike demons, witches seem to have to be allowed entry, willing or through deception, like the drink. Yeah. The woman's thinking it's medicine, but you're still willingly taking it. So this seems to be the way witches get ingression. Like, say you go with a prostitute and she's actually contaminated by a witch. You've actually gone with it and you said yes. It's your decision. And then the sex, the transfer of sexual energies, the witch can transfer demon or
Consent on the
it's consent. But
Yeah.
the demons, they're different. They come through fear,
Okay.
in my experience. And this is why you want to get to a point where, especially in ayahuasca, you're on the medicine. Mama is overseeing the whole thing
Yeah.
all the time. And this is all about your learning, about cleaning your mind, getting your fear removed. It takes a long time, especially with trauma, which I did have plenty of. So if you haven't had trauma, you're off to, you don't have to worry about it so much. But yeah, it took a lot of cleaning for me. A hell of a lot. I was riddled, especially after a lifetime of twice your age at 60. And I came at 57, so I was riddled. Spiritual cancer, they call it.
Yeah.
Riddled with
Oh,
so
no.
many negative energies. From the
Right.
West, it's riddled. And everyone who comes from the West, we just call them dirty.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you can't get clean. Yeah.
So
unless you come here.
yeah, and even then, it might take, depending on the nature of it, or
Yeah.
how many bad energies of different types. Because you can think of all negative emotions as a demon, actually.
Yeah.
You know, people say,
Dark.
he's wrestling with his
Dark.
demons.
Yeah.
That's the same, but in this context, it's actually, really
Quite
means
literal.
something. It's literal.
Yeah.
Because you are. Because when you see the ayahuasca side of it and the spiritual side of it, you can identify these demons. And you sometimes see them. I've seen them in my stomach. The visions, I've had to pull out things like fucking. I started pulling something out. So I had to dig with it, like a spiritual hand inside my own body, and I pulled something out. It's been like this big, what you call those fucking weird, like trilobite kind of thing.
Like a grub.
Grub, but huge, like 2 feet long, like covered in slime and spikes. And fuck, pulling slime coming out and fuck, throwing that. Jesus, envision. It's just, but they get.
No, like that's one of those things where like I want to bring my father here. He's like 57 now. I'm like, I think it would do him a lot of good. Now how well he can handle it, I don't know, because he's deeply. I don't think he would.
Well, you can't push it.
Yeah, because he's deeply. He's been a Muslim his whole life, and I mean, like prays 5 times a day. Like he is on point with it. But I digress. I'm getting tired, so I'm gonna go hit the sack, so to speak. But it was good talking to you, Steve.
Yeah, and look, anytime you want to come up, you've got another week. Or when do you leave, you guys?
I think we leave Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Like this coming Wednesday. But
And you got a ceremony on Monday, right?
I think so. Yeah, ceremony on Monday. Then we're going.
So have I. I've got a ceremony on Monday too.
Okay.
So what we might do, because Mike just came to me the other night. He said during the day, he said, "Do you want to go in the ceremony?" And I just something about it. I'm not, intuition. Because my diet was difficult with Kataran and the group, but I didn't know about anything what was going to happen, obviously. But just my intuition was saying, because one of the girls said to me, "Oh, you coming? You in ceremony tonight with us?" And I said, "Well, Maestro's mentioned it," because he seemed like he was quite happy to go in there. But I just said, to be honest, Maestro, I'm just, I think I just rather have a private one. I'm glad I did.
Okay.
It was better. But now everyone's been cleaned. You've had 2 ceremonies now, right? You're clean enough. So what we might do, because it'd be nice for you guys to hear Maestro actually.
Yeah.
His voice is incredible, and also he plays the guitar.
Okay.
So when it gets past the cleaning stage and he starts playing the guitar, and especially for you on Bogan Sun, when he sings the Bogan Sun, Erika O, and she comes and she envisions and she want to dance with you. So I'll probably we'll probably come into the group ceremony.
Okay.
I think because I think we should experience that.
No. Talk to Christian about it and see how he says. I'm up
Yeah,
for
well,
it.
I'll talk to Maestro. I'll see how Maestro's here, because obviously, he was prepared, because I think they planned for all of this, just but it was me, and I said no, but I'm glad I did, because it was just me, Maestro, and Maestro's son didn't drink that night last night either.
Okay.
He was too tired, so it was just us in this little house, and it was great, because Mama's guiding you. You go with your intuition, and sometimes you just, I think but I think because I didn't want to be in there on the theater, but I mean, yeah,
because we didn't start our dietas until after yesterday, so I'm assuming cleaning definitely happened. Because I don't think Christian would have been like, start your dieta when you're still dirty, Right. No, give me an update, because I would love to have you guys. I mean, especially
you got
the
it.
guitar. I love the guitar.
Oh, it's and he's a brilliant singer, and he's got so many lovely songs. He really has. So, and I'd like you to experience him so that you know.
Then you should definitely pick up a guitar when you get a chance. If you're
Well, I've been playing his, so I started playing. I'm playing his a bit. So yeah, but yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. And have a good night's sleep. Nice talking to you, Alexander. Wonderful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You've been fucking more or less like isolated for weeks on end.
Now that we've looked at the money today, I told Maestro, I said, oh, it's good news, Maestro. I said, after we finish this week, we'll have enough money for another 3, but that will be in his little house that he's got I haven't seen it yet, but it's where I did the dieta next to the tree. But he's got a house just up that way, and he said, you'll just go there for those 3.
It's $1,000 for the 3 weeks?
He's charging me $2,400 for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Which is still cheaper than retreat.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done more in the past, because it's better value for money, because you get 2 ayahuasca ceremonies a week plus a dieta anyway.
Yeah.
And they're done properly here.
Yeah.
And the half-baked ones that all my other ones were. They're okay, they work.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt I had connections with them, because I didn't have decent shamans teach me properly.
Okay.
But it's fascinating stuff. But yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Have a good night. Yeah. Have you got a torch? Have you got a light?
Oh, no, I'm going straight over to the Maloka. So.
Oh, okay. You can see okay?
Yeah.